Good afternoon. I'm Bonnie Simons with Lee Wilder. And Lee, I want to thank you for your time today. Our initial interview was not audible, and I appreciate your patience in doing a repeat.
Well, my pleasure.
I understand that you played an integral role in the formation of the Professional Tour Guide Association of San Antonio. Today, I'd like you to begin with the various roles you played at this San Antonio National Historic Park. Just tell me about your career here.
Well, I arrived here in 1990, and I oversaw Mission San Jose and Concepcion initially, and the one thing that I noticed is that we had a lot of tour groups coming in, school groups, the tours that go throughout the country, visiting different areas. But I soon found that I was watching them very closely because several things started to bother me. First, that they were passing on incorrect information. Second thing was that they did not help their group have the best experience because of the way they guided them physically. And third, they weren't really sure of the rules that govern a national park site. And so I decided that something needed to be done. Initially, I looked at going to all the areas that had tour groups come in, education groups come in, the art museum, Whitty, the zoo, all of those different organizations, to see if I could get with their education specialists to see if there was some way we could coordinate training in order to help the tour guides. So I decided to visit with those folks and see what we could set up. And there was very little interest. But somehow I got connected with Bill Lyons, and he ran the tour boats on the river. And they had tour guides, to be polite. But basically what they were people that piloted the boats and did a little bit of information on the side. They had a set script, and it was fun for the visitors, but it didn't really give a good feeling of what the river meant to San Antonio. And so he was very interested. I got together with him, and somehow a few of us ended up meeting, and a couple of the tour guides found out about it, and they thought, well, this would be interesting. So we met, and over the next 2 years we kept meeting, and it turned out that what was needed was a group of tour guides that had the interest of the community and their clients, and not necessarily the organizations they visited. Gradually, I started backing off as the tour guides started taking over the running of the organization, and they decided they were going to be a training group and make it so that everyone would have a professional level that was on par with other professional tour guides around the country.
Right.
And so I started backing off and letting them do their thing after a couple of years. And thank goodness my superiors here at the National Park were very supportive of me in those couple of years that I was able to work and gradually turn the organization over to the tour guides, and they've done a wonderful job ever since.
I just think of what a wonderful job you did. You were on board with the National Park Service as a park ranger when you began observing these incidents where people were not giving accurate information. And one person, yourself, made a big difference. You know, you helped start an organization that is going strong. We have high standards.
Yes, you do.
We do our best, and we're celebrating our 30th anniversary.
That is just phenomenal.
And you had a lot to do with it. You had a lot to do with it.
I helped get it started, but you all followed through and were the real instruments of getting it going and sustaining it.
Well, thank you from the bottom of my heart for all you did. It took courage to walk on untraveled ground, you know, and to get the permission from your supervisor, from the park superintendent, and you made a difference.
Well, I'm glad I did, and what's interesting is I went on my first tour up in the Northeast, and I see a lot of the things that I had envisioned here on those tours. So I know that the folks that come on tours here are getting a good experience.
I think they